Amazing opportunity.
Exceptionally bad example.
Amazing opportunity to have a real progressive voice. A real progressive voice for California. Our state has changed so dramatically in the past 25 years. We need a voice that's reflective of who we are today as a great state. Not Northern California versus Southern California. Not Central Coast versus Central Valley, but one California. One voice that provides opportunity for all individuals, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you come from, regardless of the hue of your skin, regardless of who you love, and regardless of what God you pray to. We're all Americans that deserve real opportunities to succeed, to have our children to move forward, to love who you want to love, without any resistance of anyone getting in the way or being an obstacle. To the Democrats here present, to those who are not Democrats as well, I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to share a few words with each and every one of you. For those who already are endorsing me and supporting me as delegates, I thank you. For those who are considering and what came here to give me, to take a look and see what this individual is all about. I can say this, as John just mentioned, as the first person of color in more than 133 years to lead the California State Senate, I always believe truly that you don't build political capital and you squander it, or you just build it for political sake, but you use that political capital to improve the human condition. And that's how we got minimum wage, $15 an hour. That's how we got the most far-reaching,
which is pushing people out of work
in the world. That's how we got equal pay for women doing equal work as their male counterparts. That's how we got yes means yes, affirmative consent. That's how we got out of the Senate, single payer, Senate Bill 562. And that's also how we got...
Boo! No single payer! No single payer!
For all of our immigrants in the great state of California.
This guy... Boo! Afuera!
Together to Washington, D.C. Thank you very much.
Boo! Afuera! Afuera!
This is the poorest state in the United States.
We are the poorest state in the Union when you look at the massive poverty we have because of this climate alarmism.
Did you write your question on the card? Do you have another one you want to give?
I have. I would like you to start answering. I tried to submit this one, so I'd like.
I'll bring it right up.
I'm gonna. Some of these are for Villaraigosa. These are federal questions. Thank you.
So,
I don't like being lied to.
From a lot of people when I'm talking to them about your campaign.
I don't like being lied to.
People who are very progressive, but they have a concern that because of the huge heavy lift we have in these midterms to take back the House and maybe even the Senate for Democrats, challenging the incumbent can be a big money drain for those really important causes. So can you discuss why you think that's the wrong way to look about it?
That's a very good question, and I would say this is the current incumbent is a billionaire.
No, she's not.
So she shouldn't be receiving money from other Democrats, whether in the state or throughout the country, when you're a billionaire. And quite frankly, just last week or 2 weeks ago, she just loaned herself $5 million for this specific race. You can Google it. She loaned herself $5 million. So in terms of money being shifted here, this is a Democratic state. So the end result will be a Democrat. But among Democrats, it is a huge contrast between a progressive voice and a voice that I would say is not a progressive voice.
Okay.
In terms of money, and this is a very different campaign. There's no question about it. This is a disruptive campaign. It's an insurgency type of campaign.
And you're gonna lose.
It's a campaign where I've gone up and down the state of California engaging with voters. And as a result, when we go north in San Francisco, half of the county board of supervisors from San Francisco have endorsed my candidacy. If you go to San Jose, in the South Bay, in the Bay Area, out of the 10 city council members, 7 of them have endorsed my candidacy,
Wow.
including the vice mayor.
Yeah, boo!
Engaging with folks. You know, just last week I had 3 city council members from the city of from San Diego, just endorse my candidacy. One city councilwoman, African American woman, Merle Cole, Georgette Gomez, LGBTQ Latina woman.
Oh, God.
And, Chris Ward, who represents the Hillcrest area in San Diego. 3 wonderful city council members.
That's right.
So it is engaging with the voters in a disruptive, insurgency type nature that
That's the second time you said that.
it has sparked a lot of energy among a lot of Democrats up and down the state of California. So in terms of money coming to California, yes, there will be money coming from California, from the military-industrial complex, because they want to keep the incumbent in the position that she's in, no doubt about it.
Great. So as Senate Pro Tem, you've had to deal with this series of sexual harassment and assault allegations
Yep.
In Sacramento.
Perverts.
They've now led to 2 resignations, and
No, 3.
I wrote this yesterday. I said 1 suspension. Now there's actually, since I wrote this, a
2.
new suspension.
Christina Garcia.
Right. So
She
for
grew up
sure,
2
yeah.
men.
So can you discuss what we need to do in Sacramento
Men say me
and
too.
in Washington and frankly workplaces everywhere to curb this behavior? And then additionally, is there a legislative solution?
Yeah,
to
that's
this?
her,
Just
Assemblyman.
the behavioral change?
Well, that's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked that question, because this issue with regards to sexual harassment and sexual misconduct, and we have to have a very frank discussion about this, because this is a societal issue. This is an issue that's just not isolated to the state capitol or to Washington, D.C., but quite frankly, it's in the private sector, it's in nonprofit agencies, it's in city halls, it is in county board of supervisors, it is in Hollywood, as we
Yes.
witnessed, it is in labor unions, it is in the White House. You know, it is pervasive. It is a societal issue.
It's among
And
Democrats.
this is something that we need to address. But
Gary
men
Studs.
Men in particular have to address this head on, because quite frankly,
That's okay, Swami.
you know,
I brought a flag.
the vast majority of the perpetrators of any type of sexual misconduct across the spectrum are in fact men. So I think men have to play a huge role.
And women too.
Now, what I like to say is this: is
Women
for
too.
the
Women
California-
harassing men.
Just allow me to say, if
Sorry.
the California State Senate, I think, is going to play a huge role. It's my hope that what we've done to date in the California Senate may be used as a model for the rest of the country. So this is what we've done so far, because we've inherited
pen, I
a
need a
system
card.
that's been there since 1849.
I have a
since the
card.
founding
Card.
of the Republic of California. What we've done so
I need another
far
card.
in the state Senate, and you may have read about it
I just
already,
need another card.
is that
Thank you so much. I
all
appreciate it.
allegations
wanna
of
wrap this
sexual
up.
misconduct, and it runs a spectrum, short of anything that is viewed or perceived as criminal, which would go to the police department and the local district attorney for charges. All allegations of sexual misconduct, harassment, go outside to an independent body, separate from the Senate. That is, in this case today, it is 2 firms called Van de Meiden Maddox. It's a firm headed up by a woman attorney, and Gibson, Dunn, and Crutcher. What we also have done is we created a 1-800 hotline number. So you can call the 1-800 hotline. And then we've also contracted with 2 nonprofit agencies that specialize in domestic violence, psychotherapeutic services. And I'm hoping that those services won't have to be utilized, but they're there. So I think that's a really huge step in terms of making the process independent.
This is
free
for
from any
Villaraigosa.
political influence, to having a 1-800 hotline and 3
I know, but I'll give it
contracted
when
nonprofit
Villaraigosa comes.
so that process, as you see this, in the newspaper,
I'll give it later.
as you read, at least on the Senate side, that's the process that we'll be going under. It's a process that we're currently going
I want it to
under
be for
right now.
Villaraigosa.
But what you see being played
I
out
want it to be
right
for
now is played out
Villaraigosa,
almost every day
because these
on
are
the
these are for
private
governors.
sector
I know.
and
I'll give it
bodies
later.
all over the
Okay.
country. It just happens to be highlighted even more so heightened because it's a state legislative body. But I think this is something that we have to do collectively and do this together. It's really important to me that we create an environment that's conducive for vertical mobility. In other words, especially if you're a young woman and
or
you
young
want to
man,
move up and you want to feel that you're working in an environment that's free of any type of harassment. But if there is, that there's a process, systems in place where you can report it, and you can create an environment, and this will take a little while. When you create an environment that you feel like I can make that call free of any type of retribution.
right?
Free of any type of I'm going to get you type of environment, which I think is really important. Lastly, I want to say is when you put systems in place, which are very critical, I actually, John, believe what is more important is cultural change. Because we can make as many internal laws, we can make as many internal reforms,
You can't change human nature.
rule changes. What's lasting and what's sustainable is cultural change.
Wow.
Cultural change is absolutely critical.
This is
as
the
a
progressive
society.
perversion.
And that's something that's sustainable.
They
over
think
the
human
course
beings
of
are perfectible.
Multiple horizons, hopefully a lifetime. We have to change culture. And culture is always more challenging, right? Because we make laws. And some folks abide by those laws, some folks break those laws, some folks ignore those laws. Whatever the laws they are.
That's
But
you.
Changing culture is something that is deeper. And I think
Sanctuary
we have to
state.
change culture to create an environment that's conducive. It's my hope that people will use
We have a
our
culture.
model as a model for the rest of the country.